This episode is super short this week, and I wanted to just drop in a quick wake up call for the memoir writer who is looking for an editor to save them. That is the vibe I get sometimes from writers who are looking for help. And in this process, you've wasted hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on editors and different programs and different solutions that you feel like will save you, but then they don't. Publishing is made to look complicated, but the pipeline is actually more simple than people realize. So, in today's super quick episode, I want to bring you behind the curtain and give you a fun, free resource at the end that will help you know exactly what type of help your memoir needs. Let's go. You are listening to the Memoir Method podcast, the place for writers, readers, and anyone who appreciates the collective power of our stories. In this podcast, we explore the impact of memoir alongside an examination of writing techniques and strategies used in the genre. Whether you are a writer looking for inspiration and guidance or a passionate reader seeking meaningful connections through shared experiences, the Memoir Method podcast is your go-to conversation spot. I'm your host, Charlotte, editor, writer, and the heart behind Charlotte Writes. Let's get started. So the term editing is actually more of an umbrella term that encompasses about 4 different stages of work. First, you have developmental editing. This is the big picture structural work where your editor helps you figure out what you're saying and how to say it and how to put it together. This is the primary work that I do with writers. So if you're going to publish traditionally, you may not need to go further than this step on your own, though some traditionally published authors do like to hire their own editor outside of the publishing house. After developmental edits, you can move on to what are called line edits. So once the structure is mostly set, we can move on to this stage, the line editing stage. This is where the editor is really going to get into your writing voice and your style. So my job as your line editor is to make your manuscript say what you want to say while sounding the most like you. After line edits, we have copy edits, and this is where the editor ensures accuracy and consistency with things like grammar, usage, and punctuation. By this point in the process, the text is pretty finalized. The copy editor will point out any confusing phrasing and be another set of eyes on your work, but nothing should substantively change at this point in the process. And then finally, we have proofreading. Proofing is the step where the editor looks for mistakes. The only changes a proofreader should make are corrections to errors. This is the last stage before you move on to formatting for our self-publishing authors. I wanted to outline those stages because if you do them out of order, you are going to be wasting so much time, so much money, and so much energy. If you go looking for a line editor, but your draft is a mess and everything is not where it's supposed to be, then you'll be wasting your money. And honestly, you'll also be wasting your editor's time. A line editor may be able to polish your writing, but if you don't know what you're trying to actually say with your story, then the line edits can take you only so far. I've had writers before come to me asking for a line edit, and then when I get into the work, I realize they actually need a developmental edit first. So now I only offer a line edit to writers who have already gone through my developmental editing process. And the reason I'm so picky about my process is that you can go to a developmental editor, they can give you this big evaluation back, but as far as integrating the changes that they suggest, that's often where editors can kind of leave you hanging if you don't actually know what you're looking for as a writer. And when I see this happen, I see writers who have invested in this high-level editing support, but the support didn't actually give them the clarity that they as the author need to produce publishable work. And so my developmental editing process is designed to pull out your clarity and your confidence as a writer so that you are actually obsessed with what it is that you're writing. Because here's the thing, I know how valuable your time, money, and energy are. I want you to use them wisely and to great efficiency. I am not in the business of hustling anyone just to make a buck, because you actually need someone that you can trust. And I want you, like I said, to be obsessed with what it is that you are creating. And an editor can't give that to you, but I can bring you through the process and ask you the right questions so that you tap into exactly what it is you're here to say. I will not accept a client if you haven't checked off certain boxes first. That's to ensure that I can actually do my job well with you and so that you can have the best experience with me and the best outcome from this process. If you are not clear on what you're writing, whoever you hire as an editor won't be able to do what they're trained to do. That's why so much of my work focuses on that developmental stage of drafting. I want you to be obsessed with what you're writing and how you're writing it. And once you feel confident in that, then we can have fun with the revisions and you'll feel like your editor is really your creative partner. So I know that it can be hard to discern what you are actually ready for. So I created a 2-minute quiz for you. I love me a good quiz, and once you answer the questions, you will come away with a much clearer idea of where you are in the drafting process and what support will actually be worth investing in. I don't want you going around to all these different YouTube channels, podcasts, Instagram accounts, hoping that you'll find someone who can fix it for you. That's not the right mindset to take into this. This quiz is going to help you figure out what kind of support you actually need, and I will direct you in ways that will help you. So like I said at the top of the episode, I care the most about you not only writing smarter and revising intentionally and with efficiency, but I really want you to spend smarter as well. And that's one of the intentions behind this really quick quiz, so that you can feel confident in how you are using your resources as an author. So just follow the link in the show notes, take the quiz, and DM me on Instagram. I am at the.memoir.coach, and let me know what you got. I would love to hear where you are in your drafting process. I want to hear about your memoir. I can't wait to hear where your story is, where your draft is, and what support would be the most helpful for you. So thank you for joining me in this super short episode today. Have fun with the quiz. Let me know what you get, and I will catch you next week. You've just listened to an episode of the Memoir Method podcast. The Memoir Method podcast is presented by Charlotte Writes. If you liked what you heard, the best way to support the show is to subscribe through your preferred podcast player. And if you're feeling especially inspired, I'd love it if you left a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Leaving a review really does help other readers and writers like yourself find the show. If you want to continue the conversation, you can find me on my website at charlottewrites.co or on Instagram at charlottejanewrites. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time. And remember that you have a story that matters.